Welcome back, guys. You are now on part 2. That is part 2 of today's video. Let's jump in and start right up, shall we? Let's go. So I sincerely doubt Megan drove 4.5 hours home, changed clothes, and then drove an hour and a half to the next place. My guess is she was out all day. But another outfit change, and Megan is now seen heading out for dinner with Oprah Winfrey's production boss. Unbelievable. Yes, it's being reported that she ate with named Terry Woods, who is the executive producer of Oprah's Harpo production company. Terry Woods is supposed to have been credited with Oprah's mental health series, The Me You Can't See, and also worked with Harry and Meghan on that interview, the Oprah show that they did that was so bad that Oprah's had it removed from the internet. That same one. And how did the media know who she was dining with? Frankly, I'm shocked that Oprah, after all the trouble, is still trying to help Meghan. Now, these articles are coming out. She's casual with a swanky dinner with friends. Meghan doesn't have friends. Meghan uses people and throws them away. She doesn't have friends, guys. Now, of course, Meghan was merching. In case you're unaware, the purse that she was carrying was close to $4,000. So in this economy, when people are going paycheck to paycheck, Meghan is once again flaunting her wealth. We haven't heard anything else about her helping the people that are literally living on the street 3 miles from her house. I guess she's not concerned about them anymore because there's not a reporter in the car. Now, if you look in the bottom corner of these pictures, you will see that these were taken by London Entertainment for the New York Post. These are not back grid photos. Now, we're going to get into that in a minute, but here's my thought. Meghan is trying to make it seem like she is a working royal. Obviously, she's not. I also think that she's literally manic in these photos. We're going to be discussing that as well. But there's some talk out there that Backgrid was hired to follow her around, because you see the guy here in the striped shirt and he's at both locations. I don't think that Backgrid was hired. I think Backgrid was notified where she could be found at both locations. But obviously those are not Backgrid photos being used for the second location. I have to go back to what Remoulade Sauce put up here. She said herself she doesn't want to be a lady who lunches. No, today she's somebody who lunches and somebody who dinners. Now, as a catch-up, I think it's interesting that Harry, remember, offered to return and he was told no. The Sandringham Summit stays in place. Then Harry and Meghan were apparently, it's being reported, holding talks about what to do if their bid to fix the feud is rebuffed, which is what essentially has already happened. And Harry, of course, is putting out stories. So if this reunion doesn't happen, it's not my fault. I offered to help. Meghan offered help to Catherine. We were rebuffed. Of course, we're also aware now that when Harry flew in for his 15-minute meeting with his dad, Camilla was present and she was outraged because apparently Harry had a massive attitude with his dad. And people are saying that Harry's an idiot for thinking you can just walk back into the royal family after 4 years of attacking them, saying horrible things about all your family members, calling them Empire 2.0, doing interviews, writing books. He's insane. People are also discussing his absolute rank hypocrisy after talking about, I want to go back, I love my family, and, I can be trusted. And then you turn around and give an interview on Good Morning America. And the only reason you didn't have anything to spill is because your dad didn't tell you anything because he knew not to trust you. Now, even though Harry and Meghan have been told no working royals, no half in, half out, they are morphing back into working royals. 5 things. Number 1, the new website with their titles very prominent on there. Number 2, Meghan's coat of arms at the very top, letting you know that she's a royal. Number 3, Meghan making a royal-style video appearance at a ceremony for a London-based charity where, of course, she let everybody know that she gave money. For once, she didn't receive something, she gave it. Number 4, their vow to return. Harry's vow to return in his interview. More trips to his homeland. And finally, Harry hinting in the GMA interview as well that he's reconciling with his dad and there's going to be a reunifying effect due to his father's cancer. Too bad that doesn't work with Meghan and her dad. A few more things we're going to discuss. We've all noticed that Meghan has this weird, action towards photographers. She's very disingenuous. She's, waving her arms around and she's over emoting and she's fake laughing and and, wide-eyed smile for the paparazzi when she's in the parking lot. And they're saying this is like her pre-Harry days, where she's trying to show genuine shock and all this kind of stuff. Guys, she's fake. She's always been fake. We know this. Now, here's what else I think is going on. First of all, Catherine is still recuperating, so Meghan doesn't have to fight with her for airtime. So she's going to make the most of it. Number two, you still haven't heard anything from Harry on what's going on with African parks. But number three, we have the whole immigration row. And if you're looking at Meghan being papped, then you're not looking at Harry's immigration issue. Now let's look at that. Now, there's a lot to cover here. So here's what it comes down to. People want to know how Harry filled out his U.S. visa application. There were several things he could have checked, several things he could have done. First of all, people think he came over on a diplomatic visa. That's not possible. He no longer works for the royal family. And also, when you're over on a diplomatic visa, you're not allowed to work. People think that Joe Biden covered up for Prince Harry, and that was helping him by giving him a waiver. So basically, he might have admitted the drug use, and then Sleepy Joe, as they're calling him right now in the media, helped him get into the United States by giving him a waiver over his drug usage. The Department of Homeland Security, when you come into the United States, must tick a box that says yes or no, whether or not you are currently taking drugs. We know that other people like Kate Moss, other people have tried to come in and they were denied entry due to drug use. So Samuel Dewey, who is the lawyer for the think tank by the name of Heritage Foundation, asked for the Department of Homeland Security to release Harry's visa records, and they said, no, it's private. And everybody went, wait a minute. Prince Harry's book, in his own book, said that he's using drugs. So the question is, did he tick the box? Yes, I use drugs, in which case he would have needed the waiver. And we're asking, who granted that waiver? Or he lied and ticked the box no, saying, I never used drugs, in which case he flat out lied, and that is grounds to be thrown out of the United States. Again, Homeland Security is taking Harry's side, saying that that's a breach of privacy. Well, they brought the book and the GMA interview that he just gave into the courtroom, saying he's used to living in a world where the normal rules don't apply to him because, in case you didn't know it, Diana's his mother. Did you know Diana's his mother? Listen, we discussed all this on Popcorn Palace, and it wouldn't have occurred to him when he wrote the book that his revelations could have an impact on his status in the United States, because everybody smooths the road for him, always. But I don't think that's going to happen this time, especially since he's asking the American public to foot the bill for his security, even though he's a multimillionaire. Now, if you guys can believe this, the attorney's response in court was, well, Harry may have lied about using the drugs. Just because he wrote it in his book is not proof that he took the drugs, and he may have lied to sell copies of his book. This is what the federal lawyers said in court. Now, in the spare, he said cocaine, magic mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, marijuana. And now they're saying, well, he may have bluffed the tidbit to make his book extra addicting to royal fans, and that the book is not sworn testimony or proof. What? I agree with Princess Pinocchio. He said this was a raw, unflinching, honest account by the same man who said misinformation is a global humanitarian crisis. Now he's claiming he lied. He put out misinformation. I also agree with Van. If his attorneys are going for the whole "I lied about the drug use," everybody should get a refund on the spare because they didn't pay for a fictional book. They paid for the flawless, unflinching, honest, raw account. And what about this guy who put his name on the line? Harry admitted in his interview with him that he used drugs as well. And this comment was spot on. The U.S. government has decided on balance to suggest Harry lied in his book rather than on his visa application. Yep. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there because it was brought up in court. Somebody else said that it's possible he did enter on a diplomatic visa because he's still a member of the British royal family and has the title Duke of Sussex. So therefore, he's still a government official in the UK by his birth and title. However, Heritage Foundation said the whole world knows he's not a working royal. It would have been absurd for him to enter on a diplomatic visa. And as a diplomatic visa, you're not allowed to work in the United States, which means he would have broken the visa, which still would end with him being deported. Oh my. Okay, one more quick thing I want to talk about. Somebody sent me this email asking, they wanted to do a thanks button thing on my video and it was no longer active. That is right. Just like Andy Signor, I shut it off because Google was taking 30% of your donations. If you want to donate to me anything, please donate it through my coffee fund. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Put those comments down, make them good. Don't forget to go into the description box. You'll find the links to my Patreon, my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my father's book, which is still up for sale. If you're already subscribed, just double check the button, make sure you're still subscribed. And if not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell. If you've donated through my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.